Hi everyone, and welcome back to Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. Okay, today's story is titled, What's Happening with My Wife and Our Son's Teacher? So basically, I traveled for work, but my wife is a stay-at-home mother to our 6-year-old son. He started school in August and we both hit it off with his teacher, and he became one of our good friends and would come over sometimes to hang out on the weekends. About a month ago, I was home for a week or so. I found a change of men's clothes in the laundry hamper in the basement. I recognized them as not mine and asked my wife about them. At first, she insisted they were mine, but as soon as I pulled them out and said I don't wear those kind of clothes, her whole demeanor changed. She suddenly got very reserved and said it was his, my son's teacher's, and he came over and went swimming, and that's why they were there, because he had bought a change of clothes. She had never told me she had anyone over while I was gone, which is fine, but a little odd. When I asked what day he was here, she told me the day, which was conveniently also the same day our security cameras were broken and she had to reset them or something. Still, it didn't make a lot of sense to me because we never had any issues, so I shrugged it off and went to bed a few hours later. I heard she was bathing in our master bathroom. I could hear my wife on the phone while she was in the bathtub, both being extremely quiet and giggly. I heard her legitimately say, "Ooh, I love your Batman voice." And so I got up and knocked on the door. The following conversation ensued. Me, "Hey, who are you talking to?" Her, "My sister." Me, "Your sister can do a Batman voice?" Her, "Why are you listening to my phone call?" Me, "I'm not, I overheard you." Then silence. She hurriedly got off the phone and came to bed a little later. I hate to say it, but I did go through her phone and immediately found a lot of stuff that I really don't like. She and he, the teacher, with my son, doing things looking like a family. I found messages that she had been making a lot of trips to school and meeting him for lunch during the day. He had gifted her flowers twice, and ultimately I found a really weird hotel booking confirmations in the teacher's name in the duration of the time I was gone at a hotel in our city for 2 adults and 1 child. This made me look back on some of the pictures I saw in her phone and realize at one point she had taken my son to a hotel with the teacher and all of them were together. I am not proud of going through her phone, and obviously I didn't find anything romantic between their texts, but they do seem to be constantly eager to talk, and the hotel thing looks very weird to me, frankly. I haven't taken any jobs far away for a while, and the more time goes on, the worse I feel about what I saw on my wife's phone. I think I'm going to straight up tell my wife tonight that someone told me they saw her and the teacher at a hotel and that someone made a comment about how much she's at school. I'm especially concerned about my son and wondering what he might have seen. As far as I have known of his schoolwork and from what he had told me, he does a really good job in school and he loves the teacher and the class. He is really well adjusted but talks about his teacher a lot. He's even randomly blurted out when I took him to McDonald's that sometimes his mom makes him call his teacher uncle/daddy, which is just strange. But also it could be him just being a kid and just saying weird things. Should I ask him? I mean, he's only 6. If he hasn't seen anything weird, I just don't want to confuse him. But also, I feel like if my wife is acting this way, I have to be sure that my son isn't being hurt or involved in this. Edit. I have decided not to confront her and just wait it out with the help of a lawyer and a PI. Here is the update after 2 months. I served my wife divorce papers a week after my original post was made. With the help of a really good PI and another employee at my son's school, I had more than enough evidence to file on the account of infidelity. Not that I needed this, but the harsh truth of the situation really pushed me to actually go through with it. She denied at first but caved in and signed them later on in the evening after she realized that I meant it. Everything should be finalized about 3 to 4 more weeks. I have primary custody of my son as of now, and my ex-wife had been going absolutely mad with pain pills, like going through $400 worth a week. I am not sure how I didn't see all the signs, and I found out via my PI. It made me realize I was away from home far too often. I was an absent father and a husband, and I'm working every day to change that. It also made me realize how blindly I trusted her to woman up and be there for our child when I was away, and I hope I will never be that naive again. I hope she gets the help she needs so she can cease the disappointment she has caused my baby, who cries a lot now. I feel terrible for him, and I'm not sure how she could have acted with such disregard for him by going into another relationship, but I digress. As for the teacher, it turns out that he was on some sort of quarterly contract or something like that at the school. After a trip to the school system, armed with the evidence I did have and quite the grievance against him, I have been informed that he was not being invited back to the new semester after Christmas break. She moved out of the house and is at her parents', but she comes on the weekends to see the kid. Sometimes I still love her, and my self-esteem is mostly shattered after the whole ordeal. But I'm in therapy. So is my son. We both had 2 sessions. We are going to be okay. I have family coming from out of the country for Christmas, and he is so excited for that. Edit: I was actively deployed. I don't work away from home because I'm the regional manager of Arby's. Second story is titled, My wife had a stroke and I was all in for whatever comes next, but then I found out that she is cheating. A little over 2 weeks ago, my healthy 36-year-old wife had a very serious stroke. We had a rocky marriage for the last 3 years, and we were slowly approaching a breakup that I think we both felt was inevitable. We couldn't go 2 days without arguing about something stupid. We never did anything together, almost never been intimate, and we were both just tired of it. When the stroke happened, all of that instantly became meaningless. All I could see was the woman I fell in love with, seemingly trapped in her own head, not knowing if she is suffering and not able to do anything about it. I have spent almost every waking moment by her side, doing everything I possibly could to help, to nurture her healing, to support her, to motivate her, to laugh with her, to love her. It has been the longest, the most agonizing weeks of my life. I wanted so badly for her to understand that I was her partner and I would be by her side no matter what, and that we had a long, happy life together ahead of us. She was discharged from the hospital to inpatient rehab few days ago, and she is making great progress. She is still very often confused and says things that makes no sense, but she is getting better every day. I had been sending almost daily group texts to our friends and family with updates, but she was starting to use her phone again, and I was encouraging that. So, for the past few days she was doing that, and I was happy to see that she's been keeping regular text exchanges with some people. I happened to notice that anytime I saw her on the phone, she was texting the same guy whom I never met, a guy from work who she's known about 4 months and has mentioned a few times in the past. Last night, she had fallen asleep with her phone on the bed, and I was sitting my nightly vigil next to her. She received a text from him, and it showed up as a notification on her screen. It was right there, and I had read it before even realizing it. It was something along the lines of, "You are the strongest woman I have ever known." I thought it was a strange thing to say to a work friend that you have only known casually for 4 months. I couldn't help but to open it up and see what they have been talking about so much for the past few days. I only got as far as a last message, talking about how attractive he is and how much she wants him. Couldn't believe it. As I sat there and reeling over this, she woke up and had to use the bathroom. Like I have countless times over the past 2 weeks, I helped her to the bathroom, sat her down, closed the door, and waited outside. When she was done, I helped her back to the bed. She could sense that something was wrong. I said, "Whatever is going on between you and this guy ends now, or I'm going to walk out of that door and never come back." She said, "Okay." I asked what that meant. She said, "It's done. I won't talk to him again. He already said he doesn't want anything anyway." I said, "F you," and I left. What do I do now? We are married 3 years, no kids. We have decent health insurance, but there will be massive medical bills associated with the incident and long-term care of some kind as well. She is probably not mentally competent right now, but she probably will be soon. Edit. Thank you all for your input. Part of why I posted here was to gain perspective and to see if others thought I was overreacting. The general consensus seemed to be that I'm not, but I need to know the extent of this relationship before deciding what to do. If it has not been physical, I think I can get past it. It hurts that she is looking to him when I have been right there, but I know that she is not thinking clearly now. Her stroke was initially mentally devastating. Every day for the first week, I had to explain to her who I was, and she really doesn't seem to remember much about the past year or so. So maybe she doesn't understand the situation. She remembers and comprehends more and more each day, so I think I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, at least while I investigate the matter. I'm going to insist that she lets me look through her phone and try to figure out how far they went. If she actually cheated prior to the stroke, I'm out. Thanks for listening. Keep watching for more great stories like this.